Hey, how's it going, guys? Adam from Local Boss, and I have a very special guest. His name is David, and he's a student of the program. He's only been in the program, I don't know, like a couple weeks or something. But essentially, after being in the program for just 12 days, he landed his first client using the system, and that client's value is actually worth $15,000 because what he did was he did a deal which is 5,000 a month deal, got a 3 month minimum contract. So I thought, wow, David's got such great results. I wanted to bring him on, ask him some questions, so perhaps we can all learn from what he did, and perhaps take some advice from David, and then we can implement it ourselves, right? So David, thanks so much for coming on, my man.
Absolutely. Glad to be here, Adam.
Thank you so much, sir. So, what a crazy couple weeks it's been. What I'd love to know, my man, is what you were kind of doing, I guess, before the program to have such amazing success while and after you joined.
Good question. I don't know how much detail do you want?
Whatever you feel relevant, really, sir. There's no time limits here. We can talk about whatever. It's yeah. I'm
Okay.
curious to know. Genuinely curious to know. Anyway,
All right. Well, I turned 60 years old this year,
congrats.
and I started my online marketing for clients in 1999. So 20 years ago this year is when I started doing online marketing.
Wow.
So I started with SEO. I got my first client. She lived in the city I was in. She and her husband had a little corner kitchen gadget store. They were doing 175,000 roughly a year in sales. She asked if I could help her. I said, I think I can. I spent several months self-teaching myself how to do SEO and get ranked it wasn't even Google wasn't even there. It was Dogpile and Alta Vista and Yahoo. But anyway, so I kind of figured that out after hours, after working my full-time job. And within 36 months, they were doing $1 million a year. So
Wow.
that was pretty exciting for me. And it was really touching to me to see how that affected their life. And that stuck with me, how I could help another person improve their life and improve their business, actually literally save their business.
Wow.
So I went from there to Google AdWords. I did $1 million in revenue my first year in Google AdWords. They gave me awards and recognition, and then they closed down my account. I went on to did AdSense arbitrage, affiliate sales, spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure out native advertising. 3 years ago, I opened up my e-com store. I started Facebook advertising 2 years ago. My first year doing that, I did $400,000 in affiliate sales, so I felt pretty good about that. And I do currently I do Facebook ad advertising or Facebook paid advertising coaching. So that's kind of where I came from. My
Wow.
so
That's impressive. So yeah, I'm just it's interesting how you joined the local boss program with so much experience because as we know, I think you probably got the most experience out of any of the students, I would say, based on what you said there. Obviously we have a lot of people who have never done any online advertising before. We have some people who have agencies looking to grow. But yeah, I don't think anyone's been doing it for as long as you. So what kind of, first of all, how did you kind of become aware of Local Boss?
Oh, that's interesting. My son and daughter-in-law live in San Diego. So I was visiting them a couple weeks ago. We were down on the boardwalk, and we were walking down the boardwalk. I saw this cute little Yorkie with a sandwich board on it. It said, "My master works at home, so can you. Go to localboss.com." No, I'm just kidding. So
I was thinking, has my wife been out with my Yorkie? I was like, what's going on? I was waiting for I was like, wow, this is a crazy story. And then the board kind of I then realized you were just being facetious.
Yes, definitely. I do have a bit of a dry humor. But actually what happened is I saw your Facebook ad in my timeline. But no, that doesn't work because Facebook ads don't work, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that couldn't have been it either. No, but I actually did see I saw your your ad on my timeline. And then what I started to do is I saved that, and then I started doing some my due diligence, and I went to YouTube, found your videos on YouTube, watched your 3-day course on high ticket items and the magic script.
Yeah.
I watched all your YouTube videos there. I watched all the interviews from the TV shows you're on. I read the articles about you. I read reviews about you. So I did everything I could to find out about who Adam Davis was and his background and your credibility. Then I scheduled the call with Todd. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of waited through the call to see if he used the magic script that I had learned from watching your videos on YouTube. And he did. He did a great job. I think you now call that here in the course the boss script. And so I signed up between working my e-com store and coaching students and Facebook ads and being a husband. I started going through the course.
Very cool. Very cool. So did you have any hesitations or doubts or concerns before you joined? I mean, after you've done a lot of due diligence, but did you still have any apprehension?
So over this last 20 years, I have spent over $100,000 on training courses. And so I can pretty well sniff out someone who's genuine, somebody who really has content. So I was just honestly patiently waiting for Todd to go through his script. And he said, you want to do that on debit card or credit card? And I said, credit card. And I had my credit card just sitting here on my chair waiting for him to ask the question. So no hesitation at all. I really felt that I had vetted you and that you were the real deal. And I knew inside that this is what I had been looking for 20 years. Excellent.
Wow. That's a big statement you just made there. So I'm very thankful that, that hopefully I delivered anyway. So I guess we'll talk about that. So, you've been in the program. I mean, it's literally been like a couple of weeks, right? It hasn't been long at all.
Yeah. So actually what happened is I got off the call with Todd. He immediately got me into the group, which is amazing. Amazing. You could charge $1,000 or $2,000 a month just for the group. Everyone in there is just super, super supportive. So I went, started, that was Thursday. So Thursday, I spent Thursday, Friday, and Saturday after, working with my e-com store and my students and everything else. I went through all the training, just kind of what they call it, binged. And I just kind of went through all the training, like you recommended. I'm smart enough to know and old enough to know that I have to leave my ego and my experience at the door and follow the plan. And when you said go through the course just all the way through, I said, all right, I'm just going to go through the course. This is his deal. As a coach, I know how much you're invested emotionally into your students and you want to make it right. So I just followed your directions. So I went through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, went through all the training. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I watched all the previous live Q&As that are in the group. Then I started reading all the past posts in the group, kind of get a feel what people were doing. In one of the trainings, I think this was one of the newer ones, had a little star on it, was James Cluster's interview with voicemail drops.
Yeah.
And I knew that was it. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I immediately started looking for Reference USA, and there isn't. So what I did is I got up and I went down to the library and got my first library card ever and came back home. I actually made a post about that, and nobody in Idaho has access to Reference USA.
Oh, wow.
Not a library, nothing.
Wow.
And so as I was calling all these libraries, I called them in Utah because I can drive 2 hours to, get a library card. to my sister's house who could show identification and get a library card to give me access. But no one in Utah has Reference USA. I needed a list, but as I was calling all these libraries across the state, one of them says, "Oh, we don't have Reference USA, but we have Mergent Intellect." Wow. I go, but they were in Boise, and that's 2.5 hours away. So I started watching some videos on what I call YouTube University, and someone talked about using Merchant Intellect to find out which businesses are hiring. And I've got a university up here, Brigham Young University in Idaho. I called a student and said, "Hey, can I?" And so I went to their website, looked up, and sure enough, they had Merchant Intellect as one of the resources in the library. So I called up a friend. He gave me access, and I was able to download 9,700 phone numbers from Merchant Intellect. So sometimes you just have to figure out another way to make it work, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I wish everyone was as resourceful as you are, because I think the whole world would be a better place. So congrats, man, for being tenacious enough to find something and getting the phone numbers. So what happened after you got phone numbers?
Well, actually, I had to decide which phone numbers to get, right? So in the back of my mind, ever since I'm watching all these training videos and going through all the comments, and I'm trying to figure out what niche do I want to go in? What niche has a high lifetime customer value? And so I'm thinking about all these different niches, looking at all the ones that you have in the course, which is awesome that you just kind of lay it all out there and show them, show the ads that you have, show the ad text, the targeting, everything. That's incredible. You really are just opening yourself up and sharing with everybody. It's just awesome.
Thank you.
And then I realized we moved here 5 years ago, and my wife gutted the house, and she had all custom cabinets put in upstairs in our upstairs kitchen, in our dining room, and in our downstairs kitchen. And all those custom cabinets came with granite. I mean, she also ordered granite countertops. So I went over and said, "What did these granite countertops cost us?" And she said, "Well, I don't know if you want to know." So I said, "You write it out." And she came and showed me. I thought, yep, this has a high customer value here. So it's not one of the items in your course. But so I decided to download countertop phone numbers. And so that's what I did. And to me, I just needed a niche. I needed something to start with. I didn't care if this niche worked or not, because there are thousands of other niches. I just needed something to get started so I could test the local boss method. And it's interesting because when I made the post about my $15,000 client, after all the congratulations and support comments and the awesomeness of the group, of course the question came up: what's the niche? Because everybody wants to know the secret, right? What's the secret niche? What's so they could jump into it. Well, as soon as somebody asked that, it reminded me of this experience I had many, many, many years ago with my three sons, I guess. I had all three of my sons with me. And we went down to the lake in opening day for fishing. And we were there early, got there, it was dark. We were first ones in line to get to the gate, went down to the dock, went down to the end of the dock, set up our little stools, got our little fishing boxes out. We all had our poles and we had everything set up. And of course, the whole dock fills up and we start casting. And I cast out and I get a fish, bring it in. My son casts out, he gets a fish, brings it in. My other son casts out, gets a fish, brings it in. And so we're just literally going from me to my oldest, to my middle, to my young son. And then I'd cast out, and every single cast, we're catching a fish. And the whole dock is like unbelievable because no one's catching a fish. We're the only three people on this entire dock catching a fish. So it was like 20, 25 minutes. I caught my limit. All three of my sons had caught their limit. And so it was, we were done. We stood up to move our stools and, get off the dock, and we were literally almost all shoved into the lake with people rushing to the exact spot on the end of the dock that we were at, because that's where the magic was. You know, that was the niche, right? That was the secret, was that spot. Well, we made it off the dock, but what all those people there on opening day didn't see was me at the lake 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before then, in the rain, in the cold, in the wind, testing and finding out where the ledges were, finding out how much weight I had to put on the fishing line to get to where the underground structures were, testing different colors of baits, testing whether I should use live bait or, you know, worms or you know, other things. And so when I showed up, I was ready. They just showed up. And so it's really never the niche. It's how much you're willing to invest yourself and prepare yourself for the niche. So anyway, the niche is countertops. It's probably just as good or as bad as any other niche. It just depends on what you're willing to put into it. So it was interesting because before I joined Local Boss, several of my online associates, friends, had purchased other agency training courses several weeks before I had, and they had not landed a client. Now, I'm not competitive, but I wanted to beat them. And then also, I think it was your interview with Wendy. She had 3 signups in 11 days, and I wanted to beat that. And so it's not that I want to beat people, is that I just find really arbitrary challenges, and I give myself challenges that makes me move, makes me motivate. So I contacted one of my online friends, and I said, all right, let's go for it. And so he's taking another course. I get a couple others taking other courses, and they've been doing this for weeks. I started just going through all the material on Friday. So I created my niche website on Thursday. On Friday, I got a friend, one of my online marketing friends, who's really good at software programming. He helped me connect all the softwares up with Zapier, which is actually, you know, easy. But he was willing to help. I had this list of 9,700 phone numbers, and I thought, okay, I'm going to start at the bottom of the list, the businesses that showed 0 annual sales, because I had never made a cold call for lead generation. And I thought, I'm just going to test this and see if it works. So I took 100 of those, 97 actually is what it ended up being, ran them through the software that delivers the voice drops. 23 went through, were delivered. So I'm chatting with my friend, and all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. It was within 2 minutes, I got my first call. They hung up before I could even answer my phone. And then as soon as that one hung up, the next one came in. And I answered the call, and he says, hey, I just got your message about, can you handle 10 to 20 more countertop jobs a month? And I said, yeah, but I didn't have my script. I didn't have anything printed out. I didn't have the boss script. And I said, but I'm just leaving the office. Can I call you Monday? And so he said, yeah, call me Monday. So we set an appointment for Monday. And then I also texted him a link to my website that I had built to help build credibility, because, you know, he goes, oh, you're lead generation. And, you know that tone in the voice. Oh, okay. You're one of those scammers. So I wanted to show some credibility. So that's why I had built the website. So I sent him the link. And then that was Friday. Saturday night, I said, hey, you know, I'm looking forward to our call on Monday. Sent him another text. Please read through the testimonials and information. He says, already done it. Looking forward to our call on Monday. So then over the weekend, I researched his company, and I worked on personalizing the boss audit call script to fit my personality. You know, we all, you know, you say things differently than I do. I just worded it so it made sense. It would flow for me as much as possible. And then I tried to find some things that I could have in common with him as a, to kind of start, because that's the first thing at the, it says on the script, find something in common, just chat. So Monday, I did the boss audit call. I set up the boss planning. We had that call. Then I set up the boss planning call for the next day. As soon as I got off the call, I created an email account at my niche website so that I could email him what is it? The inquiry. No, what was I emailing him? I forget what I was emailing. But anyway, set up an email so I could email from my account.
Yeah.
And then Monday also I set up. What I emailed him. I emailed him a results video. I had in December, my youngest son, he lives a few miles away from me, super amazing, total entrepreneur. He reads lots of books from millionaires, and we were over here at Christmas, and he said he had just read a book, and one of the things that one of the millionaires said in his book said, if you walked away from your business for 6 months, what would it look like when you came back? And that really hit me, because as an affiliate marketer, I have no assets. I have nothing tangible, nothing to sell. I could not sell my business because all I have is Facebook ads that I'm running. I don't have any clients. I don't have any product. I didn't have anything. So I thought, I want a business that I have assets, that I could sell this business. If I wanted to, I could sell my business. And that's when I knew I needed to go back to ad agency and have clients that consistently paid me $5,000 a month, and have a couple dozen of them, so that if I ever wanted to sell my business, I could do so. And I felt I had assets. And so I decided to start an ad agency business in February. First thing, right? I contacted all my friends that are business owners. No one was interested. Some of them told me not to call them again. Some of them never returned my calls. And I had one friend who signed up. He said, all right. And I showed him what I could do, even though I had never done lead gen before, but I had run Facebook ads. What I told him was, look, I can do it for this much. And if I could get you this many leads and you converted this much, look at your ROI. So he signed up for $3,000 plus, which included $500 ad spend. I started running his campaign for him in February, and in 21 days, I generated 76 leads. So I was really excited, but he did not close one lead. And he's really, really good at face-to-face closing, but he could not figure out how to do this over the phone. And he said, all the leads are bad. Everyone's ghosting him. No one's returning his calls or his texts. And this really frustrated me, first of all, because he's a friend, and I wanted to help my friend in his business. And second of all, is that I felt I was, my ads were good, and that he was getting good quality leads. So on Saturday in February, I sat down and I called every single one of those leads, and every single one of them answered, and we had a great conversation. They were all good leads. So he didn't renew in March, but I knew that I had the ability to generate leads, that I had the ability to generate quality leads, and that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to work with local businesses. And so he just didn't know how to close them. Mm-hmm. So I started, I just went door to door to all the businesses that, I went to my dentist. I went to the restaurant that I go to. I just started going door to door with people in my town. Every single one of them said no. Went to my jeweler. He said no. He said, I was telling him, hey, I can generate Facebook. I can do Facebook advertising for you. And I learned never, ever say that phrase. They've all done Facebook advertising. It doesn't work, or they have a team already doing it. So they all said no. And that is what motivated me. All 100% rejection is what motivated me to sign up for and to look for a really good ad agency course that focused on getting clients. Now, yours focuses on getting clients, but it also is the complete A to Z because, or I guess you would say A to Z, but because you not only show us how to get clients through email drops and voicemail drops, but you also show how, in great detail, how to run lead generation or lead ads in Facebook. So you really have, everything from the locomotive to the caboose. So that was another thing that showed me that I was, doing the right thing. So on Monday evening, I set up my Stripe account because you said to use Stripe. I already have Square and I already have PayPal, but you recommended Stripe. So I'm just following the course, and I set up Stripe. I customized the Local Boss inquiry generation program agreement. So it says, instead of saying California, it says, Idaho. I set that up on right signature, tested it, made sure it worked. I did some more research in the market in that particular city. I wanted to know who his competition was, so that I could actually name them on our call on Tuesday, so that he would know that I had done my research and that I knew who his competitors were. So if he didn't sign up, he knew that I could or would just go contact his competition. That showed I had credibility, and it actually really increased the urgency. So on Tuesday morning, I worked on personalizing the boss planning call script again. I really worked on emphasizing his pain points. There's a great quote, you mentioned it in your 3-day training, about a movie that they talk about ABC, always be closing. But that's really only half the story. You always want to be closing, but the rest of it is you never want to be selling. And if I feel like I'm selling somebody, then I'm doing it wrong. I really focus on helping them with their pain points, finding a solution to their pain. And so that's all we talked about, is I was totally focused on him, getting him results. And he made what his real pain points were what he thought his strengths were. And I showed them that actually what he was doing, the money he was spending on advertising, was actually working against him and limiting his ability to grow his business. So anyway, we had the call. I created an irresistible offer that it was only good if he signed up on Tuesday. I emailed him the agreements and the 3-month contract, and sent him the payment form, and that was it.
Magical.
He said, actually, when we got off the call, he said that he needed to talk to his wife. So I said, all right, well, you have till midnight. So I went to bed at 10 o'clock. I'm an hour ahead of him, and there was no contract, no paid invoice. And so I just decided when I was laying in bed, it didn't make a difference whether he signed up or not. I already knew who his competition were. I already tested the market. I knew that city was strong, and I was going to get up the next morning and build a list of phone numbers, and I was going to voicemail drop all his competitors and sign up somebody else.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I came.
He came through.
Yep, he did. I got an email from him at 11:36 saying, sorry for the lateness. I paid it. I signed it. Hopefully I can still get the special offer that ends by midnight. So it worked.
Very good, my man. Well, I'm impressed. You've done it so quickly. Obviously, you have a background in this, but it looks like as you said in February, you went out and tried getting clients. It didn't work. So I'm really glad that that Local Boss program has given you ways to reach people. You haven't got to go and door knock or anything like that. And, you can send out one message and have your phone inundated with calls and your inbox inundated and all kinds of stuff. So it's exciting stuff, man.
It really is. And I really am indebted and grateful for you. I know how much work it takes to put this together, and the decision for you to share this and not to hold this just close to yourself, but to open it up to everybody else. It's changing lives. I can see that in my life and in the group, on the Facebook group. It's changing their lives. So, and helping all those local businesses. That's just a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, man. I mean, we could talk probably for hours just on different things and what you've done in the past. But I'm just super thankful that you did your research, you found out what I'm about, and you put your faith in me, I guess, and joined the program, because there's lots of courses out there. Like your buddies joined, lots of different courses, some good, some not so good. So we always try our best to try and show people what we're about, but sometimes that's difficult when there's so many other people out there.
Yeah, and actually none of them have got the first client yet. There's just, I guess, a lot of moving parts in the programs that they're working on, and they're all working on them. They're all action takers. They're all really good guys. It just isn't as clean and as simple as your course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've seen inside a lot of courses, and when I made the Local Boss program, I wanted it to. I have it pinned up on my wall, and I have it on my notes. I use Workflowy to track all my tasks. Mm-hmm. And it's at the top. It's like, my mission is to make the best program on the internet, and that's what it always is. That's my mission. That's my goal. Whenever I create training and do things, that's really what I want to do. I want it to be the best. I want it to be better than everyone else. I want to get the fastest results than any other course on the internet. And I think I've achieved that. It's definitely looks that way, right? It's pretty surprising. Pretty amazing. That was my goal, and seeing it come to fruition, it's been inspiring.
I think you made the best course at the time you made the course, but what makes you different is that yesterday you updated the course again. That's the second time since in 12 days that I've been in that you've updated the course. Not only are you keeping the course current, but you are on a weekly call. Even the week you get married, you're on the weekly call with your students. When I realized that, okay, this guy is the real deal. He's invested in his students. He's just not selling a product. He is really wanting to help people be successful. And that separates you from anybody else that I've seen. And I appreciate your commitment.
Thank you so much, man. Well, I really appreciate it. I have to ask, which I always do, before we wrap up this call, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining Local Boss?
Well, for most people, I would not recommend purchasing Local Boss, or actually any training for that matter, because from my perspective, most people are lazy. They want something for nothing. They want the win without the work. They want the money without the motivation. They want the riches without the wrestle. They want the dream without the drive. Most people want a done-for-you system that you can just copy and paste with little or no thought in it. They're focused on what they want, not how they can help. Most people will fail with any training or coaching that they purchase. So if you're most people, then I wouldn't suggest you buy Local Boss. I'd suggest you buy a 98-inch Ultra HD 4K TV that you can't afford, and watch Dancing with the Stars or whatever is on TV. I don't even have a subscription to TV. You go spend money on a flashy car and flashy clothes that you can't afford to show people that you're living the dream when you can't even pay the interest on your maxed out credit cards. So I wouldn't recommend it for most people. But if you're not most people and you understand that success requires sweat, if you're willing to work for the win, not just take the win, if you know that most people aren't willing to put in the work that you are, that you're wanting to help other people, and that you know the more people you help, the more that you'll receive. If you're willing to take a chance on yourself, and if you trust Adam and what everybody's telling about Adam, there isn't a negative review out there that I found. If you're willing to get out of your comfort zone, if you want the peace that comes with financial success, and you're willing to pay the price for that, and I'm not talking about the cost of the course. If you're willing to pay the price for success, then yeah, I'd wholeheartedly recommend Local Boss. It is the best, fastest, simplest, straight path to success that I've seen in 20 years and $100,000 in training courses. So absolutely, if I were 30 years younger and had the knowledge that I had now, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd leap over tall buildings in a single bound. I'd grab my credit card and I would sign up and take action and beat Wendy and beat me and set those goals and go out and make it happen, because everything you need is right here, except for you have to put in your heart and your work, and that combination is absolutely gold. So absolutely, if you're willing to do that, I wholeheartedly recommend Local Boss.
David, thank you so much, my man. That's great advice as well. And you're right. I don't think business in general is for most people. I think you have to be willing to put in the work. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. But yeah, if you're going to choose one course and you want to go all in, then obviously Local Boss is here for you. If you're the right fit, we generally don't accept everyone. I do have some strict criteria for my team as well. If someone's saying the wrong things and saying they want no work and they want to not help people, then I say don't enroll them, because we're just going to have the wrong people in the program. So yeah,
well, the people you have in the program that I see their comments and their sharing and their willingness to help in the group are the right people. I appreciate the screening process. Yeah, we're in a very positive, strong, supportive group. It's amazing. A lot of people don't have that in their lives. And so if you're looking for a group to join to lift you, this is the group to join. If you're looking to build a business, this is the program to use. And I couldn't endorse you more than that. It's just been a great fit for me. And this is just the beginning. I am on to a 7-figure a year business. It's going to be a 6-figure a month business. There's nothing stopping me. All the pieces are here. The only thing that's stopping me is from answering the phone because they're calling me. I'm not talking to a single person who isn't calling me instead of me knocking on doors or me bugging my friends. This is golden.
I love it. I love it. Hey, David, thank you so much, my man. I can't wait to see the success. And I think we should do another interview when you hit that, when you hit the $1 million or the 6-figure month. I think we should jump on again, right, and share the story, because you're a great storyteller and really genuinely nice guy as well, man. I'm really thankful that you're in the program and very happy for you, very proud of you too. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It'll be a couple weeks. My wife and I have our 38th wedding anniversary. Nice. We're going to Bali for a couple weeks. Ooh. So when we come back in a month, I'll be doing voice drops and sitting here with my phone in my hand. So absolutely, you can start counting on it. It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be heavy, and it's gonna be awesome.
Excellent. Well, congrats on the wedding anniversary, and please enjoy Bali. I've never been myself. But definitely want to go over to that part of the world, do Thailand and Bali. It's just one place I haven't been, but everyone loves it who goes. So enjoy, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.